All right, now that we've agreed on everything, we go to New Jersey, where the race for governor has been, by all accounts, a cakewalk for the incumbent Governor Chris Christie. So much so that the poll average in the race gives Christie a 32-point lead over the Democratic challenger Barbara Buono. But Buono, she's still hoping to change that narrative, going on the attack against the governor and giving an extended interview to our own Andrew Whitman. Andrew?
Well, Rich, the latest headline in the race centers over the question of debates. In an interview, Buono called Christie a coward for not yet agreeing to debate her. Christie responded that the worst days of Buono's campaign will be the days that he does, in fact, debate her. And that's where my conversation with Barbara Buono began yesterday. We met in Westfield, New Jersey, where the state senator was preparing to run in the town's 5K race. So, Governor Christie is a coward if he won't agree to debate with you?
Well, you know, Michael Aaron did ask me that question, and yeah, I stand by it. I think that any candidate who doesn't debate when they're challenged to a debate is really shirking their responsibility to the people so that they can hear their views in a public forum.
It's funny because to hear that quote coming from you, that sounds almost like something Governor Christie might say.
Well, I can't, you know, I can't compare the two of us. I don't know. That's for you pundits to do.
I'm curious if this is a bit of a new approach for you in the campaign because, you know, when you go through the issues one by one, whether it's same-sex marriage or education or any number of other issues, voters align with you much more closely than they do with Governor Christie, yet he's incredibly popular and has a big lead in the polls.
Well, I mean, if you really look at the polls and you see where his popularity is, it derives from Superstorm Sandy. You're right. If you ask people the questions about the issues that are important to them, property taxes, you know, we have the highest in the nation, higher than they've ever been before. The governor has low job approval ratings because they've increased on average of 20%. His 3.5 years in office. Same thing with jobs in the economy. His only economic plan has been to give tax credits, $2.1 billion to big corporations. Where has that landed us? We are the highest unemployment in the region, and that's actually where we were in 2009 when candidate Christie criticized his opponent back then for leading a state over 4 years and ending up as the highest unemployment in the region. This is a governor who has his singular focus has been on protecting millionaires and on setting his sights on national office. The only future he's preparing for is his own political future.
Well, and that sets me up to my next question. Do you think he's going to run for president? And do you think that's potentially bad for New Jersey, or is it good for New Jersey, or?
What's bad for New Jersey is a governor who spends so much time outside of New Jersey promoting himself. I mean, he just came back from Idaho. He left again, I think again today. And this is somebody who has his sights on the Oval Office. And people can be sure that when I'm governor, I'm going to have my sights set on the people of New Jersey, on the Garden State, and not on the Rose Garden.
You'll serve your complete term if elected.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, a lot of the talk around him comes from a sense that he's bipartisan somewhat. You've been in the state Senate. As he's been in the governor's mansion. Is Chris Christie as bipartisan as people may think he is?
Well, I don't think, is it bipartisan to veto job creation bills and call them quote unquote a pile of crap? We had a slew of bills that would have jump-started our economy, retrained workers for the skills that they now need in the global marketplace. I had a piece of legislation that would have partnered colleges and universities with these emerging markets by creating research partnerships. He vetoed that, and he called them a pile of crap. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I've got 6 kids, and I think that they need more help, more education, more training for the jobs that are in demand, and not a governor who ridicules and demeans credible alternatives to do something about it.
Same-sex marriage and marriage equality. New Jersey's being looked at as one of the next battlegrounds in terms of trying to get that through. Governor Christie has said he personally opposes it, but that he thinks it should be on the ballot so voters can decide. What's your reaction to that position? It seems fairly nuanced from the governor.
It seems fairly disingenuous as far as I'm concerned. First of all, the Supreme Court came down and essentially said that our law in New Jersey treats our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters like second-class citizens, that civil unions doesn't afford the same federal rights as marriage would. And this is a governor who has essentially waged a campaign of intimidation against Republican legislators.
Your election against Governor Christie is in November.
Yes.
There is one other race that I seem to recall making headlines in this state that is not happening in November. What's your take on that, and why the governor made the decision he did?
Well, you know, we have our schools are underfunded in some areas. We have our property taxes going through the roof. This governor didn't delay. He said he delayed property tax relief in this budget by over $400 million. The truth is, he skipped a year. You don't see 2 property tax payments in this year, and yet, he's happy to spend tens of millions of dollars. Some say 12 million, some say 24 million dollars to have a special election for the United States Senate. Now, he could have, it was in his hands, in the governor's hands, to determine when the people of New Jersey would vote to replace Frank Lautenberg in the U.S. Senate. He could have had it on November 5th when the gubernatorial and the entire legislature and all the other offices are up for re-election and election. Instead, he did I think it's a cynical and self-serving move.
That's just a portion of my conversation with Senator Buono. For the complete 20-minute interview, all you have to do is head over to our Facebook page. You'll find it there. Rich?
Did you race her, by the way, or no?
No, there's no 5K. I could do half a K, maybe.
Our film continues after this. Stay with us.